has been so fun, rewarding, and easy. So I had to share it with you because I think you'll find it really beneficial. Because you know, a lot of the times we know the things we should be doing or not doing for ourselves, but it can be hard to stick with. Who wants to stay in the start strong and stop cycle forever? Not me, and I bet not you too. So today I introduce you to my habit tracker. Simple, clean, and best of all, screen-free. So here's what you'll need. We're gonna get down to it. I got this off of Amazon. It's this brand. I'm not gonna be able to pretend to know how to pronounce it. So you'll need one of these. You'll notice it has the little grids on it, and you will also need some kind of a fine pen. I got the Micron 02. Yeah, I got these. They're black. You can also have different color pens. You can also use colored pencils. I'll share my favorite cheap, high quality ones below. And you can also use highlighters that, as long as they don't bleed through the paper. I started this actually as an experiment. I thought maybe it might be too time consuming, but instead it made all of my habits that I used to write down or set reminders or have Alexa tell me about, or even use habit apps. Now they're even simpler and even more rewarding.
When should I remind you?
Never. And here's the fun part. Every time I get to color in a little square, I get this tiny hint of satisfaction. That's not just me being nerdy about check marks or coloring in boxes, because your girl loves a good to-do list that's been crossed off. That is dopamine. And I know you're hearing a lot about it. Maybe you don't know, it's our brain's reward chemical, but that's what that is. So it's made the habit itself way more rewarding than clicking a box on a phone or an app or setting a reminder. And suddenly the process of reaching the goal, the daily little habit that I've been wanting to incorporate in my life, have felt motivating and fun again. Okay, so setting up your tracker is pretty simple. You're gonna need a ruler and your pen. On the left side, you're gonna number all the way down the number of days in the month, and that is going to be a highlight of the day. And on the next side, you're going to start drawing lines that will be the border of your habits. So if you have 5 habits you want to incorporate, you're going to make that 5 squares long, and then gradually you're going to draw in the lines for every single square. Then at the top, you're going to write in each habit. And on the other side is actually your daily tracker, which I kind of use as like a highlight of the day. And then you're going to make an X and Y axis based on another habit you're tracking. Maybe it's sleep, maybe it's screen time. You're going to put in numbers of the month on the bottom, and then numbers what you're tracking on the left side, going up. So at the beginning of the month, I assess where I am. For example, in October, some of my goals are to read more, less screen time, weekly videos, dead hangs, and mobility challenge. So I created my October tracker with those goals in mind. And if you love putting pen to paper like I do, putting aside 15 to 30 minutes at the start of a new month actually feels so fun and therapeutic. One of the things I do at the end of the month, I do kind of like an end of month debrief. That way I can look over things, see where maybe I dropped the ball, or maybe I saw that, like for instance, here's my sleep tracker for that month, which was July, and I could see like maybe I got too little sleep for 2 weeks, and maybe that's why my training sucked, which that wasn't the case. But for some of you, maybe you could look back and see that. And when I do that debrief, it helps me see maybe what I want to focus on the following month. Maybe I was on my screen way too much, which was the case for me probably the last couple years of my life. Hence why that is a goal for me for October. So I have set this up for October to mark how much time I spend on my phone for screen time. And then each day I color it in. At the end of the month, I'll have a very clear visual of if it was improving or if I do something seriously different to stop myself. I've always been a girl who loves putting pen to paper. I love having a paper planner. I love having a paper vision board. It's just kind of always been my thing. I like creating, I like doing things with my hands. But what's cool is there's actually science behind writing things down. In one study, which I will put the link below, people who wrote down their goals, which are habits, is what gets us to our goals. Just a reminder for all of us, because we all need that reminder, right? We're 42% more likely to achieve them. So that is nearly half just by writing it down. I feel like this gamifies consistency. It makes it fun. whether the fun for you is seeing it all colored at the end of the month, and you can even see where I slacked, right? But it gamifies it for you. It has a record at the end of the month, and quite frankly, at the end of the year when everything is colored in. And that monthly grid is gonna show patterns to your routines, to your consistency, to your habits, and it'll give you clues onto maybe why something isn't working, or to see progress, and that itself is gonna be really rewarding. If you are trying to take on a goal that feels like a big hump, like a lot of work, or maybe you've got a lot of like excuses toward it, or it's been something that's really been hard for you to embrace, this is gonna help you unlock that hump. I mean, we all know like what a new habit takes like a month or something to get into place. Well, when you're doing this for 2-3 weeks at a time and you're seeing all these squares colored in, like for me, mobility. I have started a mobility challenge like 3 or 4 times, and I just cannot stick with it, and I don't know what it is because I love it. So using this, I just decree and declare it is gonna help me unlock that hump, and I'll be excited to report back when it does. Another reason why I like this to focus on your habits that will get you towards your goal, because this is inputs you can control. If you are only, say for instance, you're talking about losing weight or gaining muscle, or like, you know, looking at your body composition test results, you can't control what that test is gonna say or what that scale is gonna say, but you can control what you input into here, like how many workouts you track, or the protein you track, or your pre and post workout protein. That is the stuff you can control, and the reward is seeing how much progress you've made when your month is done, your week is done, your year is done. After just a couple months of using my tracker, I noticed a few things. It feels so good to color in these little squares. This will become a record that I can learn about myself and see progress from. I love being able to look back on a month and see how something went. Like, I was having a hard time in July remembering to take all of my supplements, and look at this column, boom, colored all the way in. So then I knew that that habit was cemented, and I didn't have to put it on the next month. I also love not relying on technology to help me remember things. I feel like technology stresses me out a little bit more than necessary. I may or may not get a little feisty with Alexa sometime, and
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
I'm not either. And I just think about, I imagine how it's gonna be once the whole thing is filled up. One day, my kids will look at this and be like, Mom, wow, Mom was really committed. So for me, I found that when I put pen to paper and color in these cute little boxes, I'm not just making marks on a page, I'm getting one step, one day at a time closer to the things that I'm dreaming about or praying about, one day, 1 week, 1 month at a time. And lately it's had me wondering, what else can I track? Sometimes it's so easy to blame ourselves or think nothing works anymore, or like we're a victim of aging. But sometimes the problem isn't what we're doing. It could be our thinking that has us stuck, and we have to get a vision for our health and wellness, possibly down on paper, so that we can see the progress we are actually making. That's why tracking has been fun for me. So if you ever felt like you keep starting and stopping, or that life always gets in the way, maybe a tracker will help you too. Please know from me, you're not gonna get every day right, because I certainly haven't. So be gentle with yourself and just keep showing up. So tell me in the comments, what's one habit you wish you could stick with right now? And are you gonna try a habit tracker? It's a new month, which means it's a new month of possibilities, of new habits, of goals achieved, of feeling even better. And I look forward to hearing from you in the comments, because if you are new to my channel, the comments is where all the community happens. Be sure and subscribe and sign up for my newsletter, because I'll be sharing more tools and experiments that are helping me in my 40s. Until next time, friends. Bye.